Good day to everyone watching me right now. This is your girl again, Marian Handicrafts, and I'm here with this beautiful, lovely design, and I will be taking off step by step on how to make this lovely, beautiful cap. Just watch me and see how I go with them one after the other, how I got to achieve this beautiful cap one after the other. So I'll be taking all through the steps. Here we go.
Yes, to make this lovely cap, here are the items we'll be using for the cap. As you can see, this is what's on the cap. I think about 1 yard is enough. Then we'll be needing a fiber. We'll be needing our marker. We'll be needing wool gum, our fabric, our cap, bishop round cap. Then pin and needles. We'll be needing our ruler. We'll be needing our gum also. Then of course our tape rule, scissors, thread, tailor's chalk. These are the items we'll be needing for this video. Just follow me as I begin to take them step by step. And we'll be using a crinoline net also. A crinoline. Now for the band, you can see what we have in the band. That round design that we did, that I did for the band. What I actually measured out is the round head of the client. It is actually measuring the round head of the client. Then the client's round head here is 23, but I have 25 here. I have 25 here for sewing, for tacking, and all. So, and then the width of it, the how I want that particular band to be big is actually the width of this thing. I have 7 here, but I actually want just 3. By the time I'll be folding it, I'll have 3. This should be 3.5 because I open it up. That's why we got 7. But doing this will be just 3.5. So the half on it will be used to sew. So what I'm going to do, you can see 3.5. So what I'm going to do to this now is take it to my machine, then run a stitches down here. I'm going to be running the stitches down, and then I will be seeing what I will do next after running the stitches down. And for the design at the back, I actually cut out a long, this is 50 inches, this is also 50 inches, so 50 inches by 5.5 actually, but the remaining half is what I'll use to sew it together. So what I'll be doing is folding it this way also, and then I'll be running the stitches down to the two fabric. Then the last fabric I have here is just 2 pieces that I cut out. What I want to use it for is actually to cover up this, to cover it both down and up, both up and down. And as you can see, the fabric is actually more, it's more than the cap. So just follow me as I continue with the process. Now I'm done running the stitches. I'm done running all the stitches. Now the next thing to do is to join the crinoline nets to the design at the back, not for the front. This wide one is for the front, but for the back one I'll be joining the crinoline to it. Why I did not stitch it to it is that my machine is not working right on the listen. So I prefer to use my hand needle and thread to hold it down, to run the stitches to the cloth. So I'll be running the stitches with my hand and needle. Take the steps one after the other. First one, let's set up this and see how it will look like. So what I'm doing next is I'm going to be gumming this cloth to the cap, to covering it up. I'm going to be covering up with the cap. So just continue to watch me as I continue with it. Just try as much as possible and make sure there is no, though the band is still going to be covering it up, so just make sure that this side is neatly done. Okay, this is it. This is how far I can actually do it. You can see. So this place, you can see that it's still having some rough lacing. Never mind, there's still band coming there to cover it up. So you can do it as much as you can to make sure you're not going to be getting too much of rough edges. So now for the inside, I'm going to be using hot gum for that one, and this is the fabric for the band I'll be using for the band. You can see I run it all through to this point, and then I run this while I've not actually sewn this mat. Reason is that by the time we'll be turning it round to the other side, we'll be filling it up with our fiber. So you know, I'm filling it up with the fiber, so I don't want the fiber to be getting out of it. That's why I have to sew it down there. Then I have to turn it over now. Now I'm going to be filling it up with the fiber. So I'll be doing all that behind the camera. Now I'm done filling up the band with fiber, with the fiber that I used. So the next thing I'll be doing now is I have covered up the cap also, like I've showed you, but I left the inside. I've not covered the inside because I want to do the sewing, then I'll cover everything up with the other fabric. So now the next thing I'm doing now is that I'll be attaching the band to the cap. I'll be attaching the band to the cap. I'm still going to, put gum to now make it stay, but I'll be attaching it for now. See, I'm just attaching, taking it from, I don't know if you can see it. I actually turned the sewing part to face the cap so that I can cover, I can sew it, and then that one will be on the cap. So I'll keep sewing. So I'm going to be sewing it round. Yes, right now I've finished attaching the band that I made to the cap. I've just finished attaching it to it, so I'm still going to cover this up with the remaining pieces, but I've finished attaching it. And for this, I have finished joining the nets to the cloth. So what I'll be doing next is turning it over. It's kind of a little bit strong, so I'm going to flip it over. Then after I flip it over, after flipping it over, then I iron them so that this part can be at the middle. You can see I iron them so that this part can be, so that by the time I'll be folding on the sewing side. So now this now depends on how you want the design at the back to be, big or small. So what I actually did here was that I cut out all the pieces like I've shown us. I cut it out 5.5 inches by 9 inches. 5.5 inches. You can see this is 2.5. This is 2.5. The remaining, so if you fold 2.5 into 2, it will give you 5. So I actually did 5. So I folded into 2. It gave me 2.5. That's the width I wanted. You can decide to use another width that you like to use, but that's the width I like to. But I added half on it. The half was what I used to sew it right here. And like I've shown you, my net is inside. My crinoline net is inside. I've actually sewed it in it and I've turned it over. So what I did next is measure 9 inches. 9 inches long. That's the way I wanted it to be. When I fold into 2, it will give me, because I'll be sewing it down. I'll be tacking it down somehow, sewing or tacking, whatever language you want to use for it. So now I think I'm okay with this length. I'm okay with the length for what I want to do. This length is okay for me. I have 4.5 here. 4.5 here. After folding it into 2, 9 inches folding into 2, I have 4.5 inches. Then what I did next is that I now cut out the number of pieces I want for the design. So what I did was, after cutting 5 by 9, I now tack them together one after the other. Tacking together one after the other, I take my needle and thread, I tack it one after the other to each other. So after I've seen the width that I needed, how wide I want it to be, I said I'm satisfied with it. That's what I want. Yours can be bigger, yours can be smaller, whatever way you want it to be. So after doing that, so I now had to, I needed 12. I cut out 12. 5.5 by 9 inches times 12. So I have 6 down here. I have 6 on it. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. I have 6 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. So what I did is, when I was placing the one up on the one down, I make sure that they cover the middle part. You can see it. They cover up the middle part of so that you can see they are in the middle of the one down. Don't forget, don't mix up this side. Don't go and put them on each other like this. No, make sure that the one down, the one up is covering the one down, the middle. I'm talking of the middle, the spaces at the middle. And mind you, I did not run a stitches. I just joined them together. Now what I now did is, I measure up the space that is opening. I got 4 inches. For the space opening, I got 4 inches. So I now have to cut out some of the one I use for this, you can see it's still the same thing that I used for it. So I cut out 2 pieces, still 5.5 by it's not up to 9 inches now, because what I needed is just 4 inches. So what I now did was, once I got what I needed to cover it up, cover the space up, whatever you need to cover your own up to, use it. So I'll be placing it on it like this, so it will be forming our design at the back. So it will be forming the design at the back. So, and this is how the design is going to be at the back, but it's not going to stop there. I'm going to just be putting this across it this way or this way. I think this is better, right? So I'll be crossing this, and I'll be taking this across it at the back, because we have it in the cap, because it's actually in the cap. So the design, I'm placing the design here, one will be here. I'm trying to measure it up before I remember that, oh, I've not actually done this part. So this is what happened. I used my tailor chalk to mark the space. I've not actually gummed this, I've not gummed it, but this, I've gummed this and I've gummed this. So you can see I use my tailor chalk after getting the way I want it to be. So it's going to be here and it's going to be here too. So I'll be doing it behind the camera. I'll come back and show us the results of it. Now I'm done attaching the design to it. You can see the way it is. Then our cap is ready. So right now I'll be doing that, then we'll see how it looks like at the end of the day.